Hi all, let's look at the passion of Vassily Ivanchuk. He did a fantastic interview, just totally without reference to a board, with such accuracy, looking at all the variations, that you saw the main variations. Incredible board vision. So he's really got a great grip on his own mental chessboard. E4 from Vassily. This is against Lei Tingjie in round 9 of the Tradewise Gibraltar tournament. We have a French defence. He chooses the Tarrasch variation. Knight gf3, c takes, knight f6, e takes d5, and he's aware of the main line with knight b5, but wanted to create something original, and he's aware of actually even blitz chess. He's aware of a blitz game of Magnus Carlsen against Caruana, which had this major blunder. Can you see what white plays here? Caruana castled. He should have played knight c7 because 5 seconds. Bishop takes a6 with a winning position for white. So he's aware of the theory. In that line, it's thought to be okay anyway after knight c7 for white. But yeah, he goes in for something quite original here. This move is rarely, it's less frequently played than knight b5. Bishop e7. We have bishop d3, e5, knight b5, threatening knight c7 check. Now black castles, and you might think, well, is knight c7 still on? Actually, this would be a mistake. Can you see why? Clue: if your king's in the centre, things can backfire tactically. 5 seconds. Black to play. Queen a5 check. Actually picks up the knight, pesky knight. So that would be very good for black. So yeah, Ivanchuk castles here, and it seems to allow this very dangerous looking fork, and it's played actually. Can white get out of this? It looks like a what is this? Is he now? Maybe black was maybe black was hoping like knight c7 or something. In which case this knight's stranded, and it's going to be, I think, good for black later. But actually Ivanchuk played knight c3, and actually there's a big tactical trick now, that if queen f5 trying to support this fork, can you see what white plays here? And this echoes something I said about pins recently, both short-term and long-term downsides. What can white play here? If I give you 5 seconds. So there's just a variation of the game. Yeah, a big nasty pin can be set up with knight takes and queen e2, and it's very difficult for black in this position to do anything about that, so white would have a big advantage there. And also, by the way, if queen e6, then there's another sort of pin with rook e1, and again bishop d2 unpinning here, and that pawn's going to drop with a big advantage for white. So black has to be very careful here, and plays this, which releases the pressure of at least losing a piece now, because after knight d4, that's one piece out of the firing line, and now another, protecting the knight and getting the bishop out of the firing line, so winning a pawn there. So black is, for the moment, a pawn down. Rook d8, bishop e3, queen takes b2, black at least regains material, queen's a bit offside, queen d3, knight a6 threatening knight c5, big threat there. First rook ab1, this threat's still on of knight c5, hitting the queen and bishop. Bishop retreats, knight b4, but this allows queen c4, which is nice now for white. If yeah, this is getting quite nice. Bishop d7, knight cb5, even though that releases a2, this is immune. Can you see why this pawn can't be taken? White's play. Okay, rook takes b4 is winning there, with a big advantage for white. So we have queen a5, bishop f4, and these bishops actually to me are quite aesthetically pleasing, covering a lot of squares on the queen side. We have bishop takes b5, knight takes, knight bd5, and black was apparently taking quite a lot of time over her moves, but the bishops sit very comfortably here. Rook ac8, queen b3, a6, which might be a mistake actually. It might be more accurate here to play knight b4, because what happens now, these wonderful bishops play a big part of this next move, which really gains an advantage here after a6. Can you see what white plays, which looks a bit peculiar, but is totally justified in the position? Very concrete move, you could say, the opposite of abstract, which by the way is not restricted to tactical moves. I would argue a concrete move is really taking into account peculiarities of the position. It might be a sort of positional move as well, which take account of specific peculiarities. But here, can you see what white can play if I give you 5 seconds? Okay, knight a7, it's winning material again. White's again a pawn up for the moment. Queen c5, a4, which provides a useful peg for the b5 square potentially, especially after this continuation. Although black regains one pawn, still a key pawn down, this outside pass pawn. And look at these raking bishops. So knight b5, knight b4, queen b7. The queen can be comfortably parked there because these bishops are looking after a lot of squares. Rook d7, check, and now the queen comes back to c7. Now white takes on c5. Ivanchuk said he might not be playing the most accurate moves. He was aware of the opponent being in big time trouble, so reasonable moves sometimes do. And here, after rook fc1, rook takes, bishop b6, h3, rook d8. The game ended here. Now, actually, I'm not sure. The opponent might have resigned. I don't think the opponent ran out of time, but there is actually a winning sort of. It gives white a winning advantage for sure in this position. There's a move here which is winning, and I'll show you a5, because if bishop takes a5, then there's this almighty fork, knight b7, for example, like this, is going to be just winning material. This is very difficult to do anything about it. Yeah, knight b7. And if rook a8, I think rook a1, nasty pin. So a5 is pretty killing. On bishop a7, there's a crushing move here, believe it or not, which celebrates both bishops. Can you see? Okay, knight c8, just hitting that bishop. And if bishop d4, then there's rook c4. So black's in a world of pain here, losing material. So it's evidence that black might have resigned actually here after rook d8. Okay, hope you got something from this game. But check out the Vassily Ivanchuk interview. He's so passionate about creating stuff which is original. I know he did suffer a bit in this tournament in some games, but yeah, on days which he can play creatively, he really does totally enjoy his chess, and that's a really big thing which you see in his interview, and about creating original stuff. He's really a big fan of originality, which I really appreciate in this modern world of tons of theory, etc. So comments, questions, likes, shares appreciated, and check out his interview, which I'll give a link in the description. Thanks so much.